In this video, we will talk about a large workflow for live streaming.
Be seen, heard, and better understood through virtual gatherings. Elevate your message with corporate streams.
All right, folks, today we're going to be looking at this chart for most of the time here. I know this is pretty elaborate. There are a lot of different elements here, but we're going to break it down and try to look at each one of these pieces so it makes the most sense. I promise you, if you are able to wrap your mind around this size of a project, smaller live streaming projects are going to feel like a breeze. So let's start with the top here, which is your talent or the show, the stage that you have built out. So this could be a simple backdrop like mine. In this video, the location, the space that you're filming in, that is the core of your production. You can have a single camera like I do in my case, or you can have multiple cameras with multiple angles, and all of these video feeds will feed into a router. A router allows you to take inputs and send outputs to multiple destinations. After the router, a lot of these inputs will be sent over to the switcher, which will intercut these in real time. You can do what's called picture-in-picture, where you have a larger image and a smaller image both seen on the screen. And out of that video switcher, the signal is often sent back into the routers as the program or the output. This output can be sent out to screens, monitors, IMAG, which is image magnification. So when you see in a concert or a live venue, the picture of the person on the stage up on a screen, that is IMAG. Your video router can also output your program to a backup recorder, which can be a standalone device. Let's also talk about some of the support gear. So your talent might be wearing a microphone, or there might be a microphone overhead so we can hear that person, and that is sent from the transmitter to a receiver, which then goes through an audio mixer. So the audio mixer has all the different channels for audio and mixes them together into one stream, and this can be outputted to the PA system or out to an audio interface, which then matches up with the video through the encoder. You also have a lighting system, which can be a simple setup as one or two lights, or it can be a whole stage full of lights. On bigger productions, these lights talk through a system called DMX, and there is a lighting technician who has their own board who also adjusts those lights either on the fly or pre-programs those lights for an event. After your audio and video have both gotten to the encoder or the capture device, stream software is used to add graphics or other elements to your live stream. This can be sent out to another backup recorder or to a multi-stream software, which can then ultimately output to multiple destinations like Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or your company website. So I hope you have a better understanding of all the elements that make up a live stream. I know there's a bunch there, and each one of them has its own quirks and things that we're going to look at throughout the series, but at least you'll have an understanding of how all of these elements fit together and how they complement one another to produce a live stream. Here is another great pro tip. Make sure your audio is routed to the video backup recorders. This will make sure that your audio and video are in sync and it's all put together in this backup recording for easy access in the future. There are a lot of digital consoles that allow you to do a multi-track recording for audio, which allows you to record each one of those individual channels so that you can edit them later in post. This is also extremely helpful if you need to go back and make an adjustment or correct some sort of noise that was done during the live presentation. There are some cases where each individual camera will also need a recording, which is called an ISO recording. Most cameras allow recordings right into the camera itself, but there are some broadcast cameras that do not have this functionality. So you might need a dedicated recording setup for each one of these cameras. So take a breath, we just made it through the first video about all of the different components of the workflow. It might seem like a lot, but we'll take the time to kind of digest these and break down each one of these elements so that it makes sense to you. And hey, if you have another question or a comment, please feel free to leave it down below and we'll get back to you. Did you learn something new? Comment below with something that you found the most helpful in this overview. Help us share this playlist with somebody who's curious about live streaming, and visit Corporate Streams to find out how you can maximize your streaming potential. In the next video, we'll be looking at staging and sets. We'll see you then.